Okay, so let's talk about digital minimalism. What is digital minimalism? It's a philosophy of tech usage that I think has helped me, and I read about it in Cal Newport's Digital Minimalism book. Well, I listened to it. I do audiobooks, and I thought it had some really good ideas. And with this book review series, I want to start sharing good ideas that I hear with you. So technology is great. It does amazing things, but it has a couple unforeseen consequences. This decade is starting to really feel a lot of stress with smartphones, a lot of stress with social media. I've been seeing this trend of people starting to use social media less, get out and do real things instead of just mindlessly scrolling. So I think this book is really relevant. The biggest point that really hit home for me in the book is that once you start getting rid of distractions and social media that's just wasting your time and just technology that isn't really benefiting your life, you need to fill it with something. It leaves a void. Fill your life with healthy habits, activities, hanging out with friends, dinner dates, campfires. I don't know. You have to fill it with rich, active, fun things with other people in real life. If you don't replace the bad with the good, you're gonna face boredom, anxiety, and almost the same amount of stress that you had to begin with. And remember, less can be more. Social media addiction. Addiction is a condition in which a person engages in a substance or a behavior for which the rewarding effects provide a compelling incentive to repeatedly pursue the behavior despite detrimental consequences. I think this is true. Social media addiction, smartphone addiction, they have negative consequences, and it's a looping cycle. Sometimes we feel stuck. Have you ever noticed moments at a dinner table or a meal where everyone is on their smartphone? I've been on vacations and I've constantly checked email online, my smartphone. I am hyper aware of how many people take photos when they're visiting places these days. The selfie sticks, everyone has a camera or a smartphone in their hands at all time, and everyone is documenting. How soon after your plane lands do you turn off airplane mode and check your messages? Do you ever check your phone while driving? When you're standing in a line waiting for anything, you feel that little twitch to just kill that moment of boredom with a quick smartphone check. Have you ever not been able to sleep and you just lay there continuously scrolling with that blue light on your face and an hour goes by and you still can't sleep? For content creators, has an underperforming post ever ruined your day? Have you ever uploaded a photo or something to social media and then just sat there refreshing, checking likes and comments? Do you ever notice if social media gives you anxiety, or do you talk about it with your friends? What do your friends say when they mention and talk about Instagram or YouTube or Facebook? So this endless scrolling, consuming, reading, it's an escape. It solves a problem of destroying boredom, filling some kind of emptiness in us. It's an unhealthy habit, I would say. The endless scrolling is by design. Social media tech companies are like the big tobacco now, are making slot machines in your pocket, and they want you to spend as much time as possible on your smartphone, especially your smartphone, moving away from desktop for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that. They want you on your smartphone because the more time you spend there, the more money they make. Every time you reach into your pocket and check your notifications, it's like you're playing a game. You're like, what did I get today? Everyone loves unboxing, Christmas morning, what did I get? They want to see inside, and just that act is addicting and fun. Whatever we expect, the result almost never reaches that bar, ever. Consider reading Irresistible, The Rise of Addictive Technology and the Business of Keeping Us Hooked by Adam Atler. Oh no, I gotta put some wood on this fire. There we go. Let me pull out my smartphone while I talk about smartphones. Define your philosophy of social media usage. Don't just endlessly use it. Determine what you need to do, and then execute that. All of social media is basically newsletters done in different ways. An audience opts in to receive some kind of value, and then you deliver that value or you don't. If you do, you establish trust, and it's a loop. And then once you have that trust, you can usually sell that attention with your own product or service, or you can sell that attention to another company with sponsored posts or advertising. When we use social media, we need to evaluate what value we're getting out of it. We want to get the most value out of our social media apps with the least amount of time and effort on our end. One of the core ideas of minimalism is to define your values, to figure out what you want, because that makes getting it much easier. Once you only have the things you need and want, you tend to start to get rid of things. Minimalism. A lot of people are like, I'm missing out. What if there's something on social media going on, or a post that I don't see because I'm not following it? Don't let the FOMO just cause you to sign up for every social media thing just because it exists and you are worried that you might be missing something going on. So figure out what social media should do for you. You can use it to escape, learn, connect, or share. Those are the 4 main things that I found. The principles of digital minimalism. Clutter is costly, optimization is important, intentionality is satisfying. The book actually starts to talk about Henry David Thoreau and Walden and some more core philosophies of minimalism. You know, the massive men leading quiet lives of desperation. Consider reading Walden by Henry David Thoreau. I think about this all the time. Is there an amount of money at which I'm okay? Like, at what point does increases in wealth actually translate to increases in well-being? Consider reading The 4-Hour Workweek, Escape the 9-to-5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich by Tim Ferriss, which is a book that I read way back, and it sparked my entire travel YouTube lifestyle. Consider reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This is definitely a book that I've been wanting to read, and if I read it, I'll do a review, so don't worry. Most of us have a job or a way of making money and living, and it's difficult to transition into a different way of doing that, a different lifestyle. To live below your means to sacrifice, and it usually takes some amount of suffering. And I've been looking at suffering in a different way. Like, the ability to put up with suffering is expertise. So if someone's a really good long distance runner, they've just went through a lot of practice and learned how to fight through the pain and not think about it. So it's like this with anything. If you really hate to do your taxes, there are some people who are really good at doing taxes because it isn't suffering to them. They've gone through that process and come out the other side. So what does this have to do with anything? Basically, long-term plans take patience and suffering, and if you can come out the other side, you'll usually have greater reward. The book then talks about the law of diminishing returns, so you can keep putting more and more time and effort into something, but it won't yield the same, it won't be the same. There's always a more efficient and better way to be spending your time to get better results. So Cal actually challenges you to not use social media, delete it off your phone for 30 days. You don't have to delete the account or deactivate. That's a bit intense. That could come after if you want to, but basically take a break, see how it is, how life is without social media. I know Matt D'Avella did a social media detox. I think he probably read the same book and came up with the same idea, maybe. But once again, you have to cultivate high quality leisure, as Cal talks about in the book. When you take away something, you need to fill it with something even better. So in the end, digital minimalism and a social media detox will help you live a better, richer, fuller life. Solitude. Freedom from input and other minds is a source of inspiration and self-analysis. Solitude helps us define hard problems, think, look inside ourselves, And it's what I've been doing this week. It's been really great. I've been out camping in nature, in Yosemite. Nothing makes you appreciate the time you do have with friends and being social than being alone and in solitude. I think we only feel the highs compared to the lows. So when we're surrounded by friends at a party or dinner, it's really fun only because we know what it was like to be alone. We can compare it. Go for long walks without your phone. Keep lists, journals, make plans, write things down, spend time in nature. Only thoughts reached while walking have value. Consider reading Twilights of the Idols and the Antichrist by Friedrich Nietzsche. The importance of social interaction. Feeling ostracized or disconnected can cause physical pain and anxiety. I think we all know this. We all compare ourselves to things and people that we see online, and almost all of it is manufactured and fake. There's very little awesome real truth, because what even is truth? Like, we all have our own subjective truth online, I guess. And this new generation raised with smartphones in their hands as children, going through high school would be crazy with a smartphone, by the way. If I had Vine in middle school, social media and smartphones are actually causing social anxiety disorders with children. Real world face-to-face interactions are important because, you know, we pick up on little tiny physical cues, body language. There's a lot going on between a simple conversation. And I think it's really healthy and important to constantly have that type of practice and habit. Conversations help us develop empathy. It's such a joy to hear your name and to talk, to be heard and listen, to really have a witty back and forth and making jokes and laughing. Like, that really makes you feel good. That hasn't gone away, but what social media has done, it's opened up this new zoning in residential terms of time and attention, these little micro moments. Liking a photo is just the most basic form of communication. It's like binary. It's like 1 and 0. There's just nothing to it. Liking the photo of a baby is much easier than stopping by to visit, I'll admit. But I think we should consider more face-to-face communication. So I'm making more of an effort to talk to people in real life more. I've kind of gotten away from what I call the rat race of just liking people on social media so that they will like your stuff back, just so that you can kind of swap audiences. And for content creators, it does help when you have another influencer collab or shout you out, because some of their people see your stuff, but I would rather go a different direction. So find an equilibrium of friends, number of friends, quality of friends. If you start to get rid and not use social media or change your lifestyle a little bit, some people might be upset by that. You know, if you unfriend them on Instagram and they get pissed, maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't be friends. Reclaim high quality leisure. Being alone in a strange place causes pain and torture by day 2. Why did I write that? This mirrors the withdrawal characteristics of addiction. So yeah, if you get rid of social media or delete some apps off your phone, you're gonna want them back at some point. You're gonna feel it. I think we're all addicted to social media, the internet, the web, the memes. I think I am okay if I replace it with something. If I can distract myself, I can probably do without Instagram for like an entire week. There's a whole spectrum of quality to activities, and I think the high is something that causes you to grow, and the low is something that causes you to, or allows you to rest and escape in some way, tap out. Things like books are an escape. You know, it helps me to get out of this reality and figure out something or learn something new. Similar is news, podcasts, documentaries, music, movies, shows, magazines, video games, social media feeds. All of these kind of help me escape, tap out in some way. By cultivating a high quality leisure life first, it will become easier to minimize low quality digital diversions later. So basically, the more you can fill your life with high quality leisure activities, the better. Some things that I wrote down: cook more, eat healthy, have a garden, exercise, run, bike, rock climb, work out, hike, walk, practice frugality, save money, keep books, listen to books, take notes, share my thoughts, record podcasts with people who inspire me, sleep well, meditate, meet with friends, listen more than talk, help them with whatever they need, make stuff, solve problems, make improvements, increase my efficiency, build a cabin, maintain a landscape, own land, have a dog, clear trails for walking, have chickens, go to parks, heat my house with firewood I cut, split, and stack, spark conversations with random people, learn new skills, develop crafts, travel, see the world, help my community, and develop more empathy. That's quite the list, right? So I guess the big secret is that tech companies are afraid you'll learn that you don't need to spend so much time on social media, right? That's the big secret. It's like 7 a.m. and still cold out here, by the way. Where was I? Ah, yes, the smartphone. Very smart indeed. The digital attention economy. Instead of readers being customers, you make them your product by selling their attention to advertisers. Ooh. I first heard about this reading Gary Vaynerchuk's Crush It book way back in the day, like 2009. But you should consider reading the newer book, The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk. Extracting eyeballs and attention is now more lucrative than oil. Vast fortunes are made by pillaging unguarded resources, and there are usually consequences when such money is made out of nowhere. For example, industrialization, the environment. So we're trying to fix that now. So the invention of the internet, the smartphone, and social media made a land grab for attention. Once again, people are starting to realize the negative consequences of doing this. Consider reading The Four, The Hidden DNA of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google by Scott Galloway. Join the resistance. Tech companies try to lure you in with offers of value and then try to undermine your autonomy. Be a digital minimalist, guerrilla warfare soldier, and go in to Facebook, go into Instagram, extract the value, and then dip. Don't endlessly scroll. Don't let it become a slot machine. Don't play into what they're trying to do. In the book, Cal Newport suggests deleting social media off your phone when you're most susceptible to passive consumption. Favor devices that act like single-purpose computers because it isn't helpful to have access to every single app at every moment. Embrace slow media in Tim Ferriss's low information diet. Consider dumbing down your smartphone or reducing your phone plan. I recently did a little test, deleted some apps. I changed my phone plan from like $80 a month to $40 a month, and I'm totally okay, so I kept that. I deleted my Twitter account. It just wasn't adding that much extra value compared to what I was using Instagram for. I stopped consuming news. I really don't care anymore. And it was just all an endless onslaught of just pointless. I really stopped clicking like and leaving comments on Instagram. It was just a waste of time. I made a list of my values. I reconnected with friends and family. I'm making more of an effort to hang out with friends in person. I'm going on way more walks and hikes. When I post things like a YouTube video, I take a break. I just don't check the metrics after a while, and I I don't care as much. So in the end, I have a great idea of what I want and a plan of how to make it happen. And that's core to minimalism, I think. I feel like I'm finally swimming in the direction that I want, like I'm in the ocean swimming instead of being on a floaty, kind of just going wherever the waves or the wind blows me. Does that make sense? That's an analogy. I've been thinking about how every decision is a bet. Riskier bets allow for greater rewards, greater risk, greater reward. Living with intention means having greater understanding of each risk's possibility of outcomes and the factors that affect it. And the right book at the right time can completely change your perspective. I want to help spread good ideas and guide you towards having similar realizations. Reading Digital Minimalism by Newport helped me reevaluate why I'm a digital minimalist and guide me towards defining a philosophy of social media usage. Consider reading Digital Minimalism, Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World by Newport. Thank you for watching.
Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace, the best place to build a beautiful website online. I use my website, craigadams.com, to share the gear that I use to create my work. Squarespace templates make it quick and easy to customize your site into whatever you want it to do. I'm able to update items as they change and keep everyone coming back to see what I recommend. I was able to make a website that's minimal yet offers value. Every filmmaker should have a website, and Squarespace makes it possible. Visit squarespace.com/craigadams or click the link in the description below for 10% off your next purchase. Thank you, Squarespace, and thank you for watching.